Eat grapes if you feel your brain is fried. Eat grapes if you feel your brain is fried. You know, it's a funny thing because the sugar thing in the world is really messed up. Like it's all upside down, the whole sugar thing. I don't know if you guys know about this, but get off of sugar, get off of sugar. Sugar's the problem, sugar's the evil. It's, you know, the confusion is, it's not sugar's evil, it's the combinations or the abominations of sugar and fat. Sugar and fat combined, okay? A bagel with cream cheese, sugar and fat. See how it works? Milk, lactose and fat. See the combination right there? Sugar and fat. Donuts, cookies, cakes, sugar, lots of oil, lard, whatever it is. Oil, garbage, fat. It's sugar and fat. Donuts, okay? Lots of fat in donuts. Yeah, there is. And then there's sugar added. It's sugar and fat. It's the combination. That's the insulin resistance. That is it right there. The insulin resistance becomes this sugar and fat combination. This is so important to know. Even to this day, people in the health world don't have a clue how it even works. It's the carb and the fat on the carb. See what I mean? It's the combination of both. It's your oatmeal with lots of peanut butter. It's your oatmeal with coconut oil, sugar and fat, carbohydrate and fat. It's the oatmeal with peanut butter, almond butter, even oat milk added to your oatmeal. It's a little more fat added to your oatmeal. That's how it is. It's sugar and fat. It's sugar and fat. It's carbohydrates. That's the problem, and that's where the pancreas goes, blah! Your pancreas just goes, oh, I'm going to throw out all this insulin. Boom, I'm going to throw out all these hormones. Boom, I'm going to throw out everything I can. Enzymes, pancreatic enzymes. I'm going to just cough them all out, and your pancreas just goes apeshit and just pushes it all out. Insulin and enzymes and everything else. By the way, you guys, we're live. We're talking about a grape slushy we're going to make. We're in Life Changing Foods right here. Expanded edition right there. Pre-order it. Get it now. It's just 2-3 weeks away before it comes out. Make sure you get it now so you've got your name on it, because it's going to get sold out and people are not going to be able to get a hold of it, because it's happened for 10 straight years with all the medical medium books. Just forewarning. Make sure you pre-order this. This is a powerful reference guide. It has an ability in a very spiritual way, in a very powerful supernatural way to help your body is what it does. It has that ability. How? You have it on your kitchen table. You don't feel good. Your body is crying for foods that heal and heal your body. You got the reference guide here. You go into your kitchen. You crack it open, and where does it land? It lands on a food, a wild food, a leafy green. It lands on an herb you most likely need, and it's there for you every day. It's this beautiful reference guide to help you with your health every single day of your life if you want to. And it talks about illnesses, conditions, why people are sick, how to heal, and everything else. It is loaded, loaded. If you just got on here, we're talking about eating grapes if you feel like your brain is fried. And there's a reason we're talking about glucose to the brain. Your brain slowly dies if it's missing the glucose it needs. And if blood sugar isn't getting to your brain can die in 5, 6, 7 seconds. Not 5, 6, 7 months, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 seconds, your brain starts to die. It needs sugar. But the problem in the sugar world, there's so much confusion with the sugar world. It's all about, no, sugar's bad. It's all about sugar, sugar. It wasn't even necessarily the table sugar and the sugar cubes that were the worst thing in the world. It was whatever they were mixed with, whatever table sugar went onto, whatever it went into. That was the problem, because the table sugar most likely went into a coffee that had cream. It most likely went into a coffee that had milk, fat, sugar. Boom, that's the abomination right there that makes the pancreas chalk up all the insulin, and then the fat sits in the blood, prevents the insulin from driving the glucose into the cells. The sugar floats around in your body way too long, and that gets us in trouble. A couple important announcements before we move on and we make our slushie. So number one, I'm live right now. It's not pre-recorded. Number two, this is the most important announcements coming up. Organic Crush has a new fall menu. Check it out right there. It is there, the flatbread pizza, the wild blueberry donuts, the sweet potato and zucchini stew, that beautiful potato flatbread pizza right there. I can use one of those right now. Quinoa Brussels sprout salad, that's gonna be there too. It's there now. Wild blueberry donuts at Organic Crush in Long Island, New York. Get to any one of their restaurants. And then what's that? The energy shifter shot. That's a big deal on its own. And the liver rescue juice. There at Organic Crush with the other menu they already have. They are packing in the medical medium dishes. They are like stocked with the medical medium dishes at Organic Crush. Okay, so that, I just wanted to let you know, it's the fall menu. It is out, and it's including their other menu. Get in there when you can. Experience it. It's worth it. Really worth it. And here's another announcement right here. Okay, Cafe Gratitude, November 4th, November 5th. Did you get on the waiting list? You should have. The waiting list was sent out. Did you get on it? Make sure you get on that wait list for November 4th and November 5th. Please do that. That's going to be the November 4th, 5th book signing dinners, the parties, the meet and greet at Cafe Gratitude. We're going to be doing a light blast there too, so it's going to be very exciting. Get on the wait list. Give it a shot. It's very important, you know, to do it now and not wait too long because it's limited seats and so forth. But guess what? I'm going to be at Barnes & Noble in Glendale. LA in Glendale, Barnes & Noble. They're 3-story Barnes & Noble, November 6th. Make sure you look out for that because you've got to get on that, okay, registry. That's free. That's a ticket you get in. Make sure you're looking out for that too. So be on the Medical Medium newsletter so you can see these things, okay? Barnes & Noble, November 6th, registration comes soon. So you want to be on the Medical Medium newsletter. Please be on there so you can actually get on that registration. Definitely want to be at the Barnes & Noble one. If you're somebody, because the seats are limited at the November 4th and 5th at Cafe Gratitude, listen, register to get a seat, to get a ticket for the Barnes & Noble. Definitely. So get to LA during that time period. And if you're somebody that's already going to the November 4th, November 5th Cafe Gratitude dinners and you get a ticket and you're in there, then also be at the Barnes & Noble. Okay, book signing, that's going to be fun all on its own. So don't miss out on that, okay? So I just want to tell you all these things. So let's get into it a little bit. People freak out. They freak the freak out. They freak the freak out about grapes. They just freak out about grapes, okay? That's what they do. All right, so I got some grapes right here in front of me. Here's some beautiful grapes. Let's take a look at these grapes, okay? There we are. Can you guys see this? I got some grapes in front of me. So here we go. People are freaks about grapes. Sugar, 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 bad for you, bad for you, bad for you. It's not like it's grape jelly mixed with peanut butter. That's when it's not great for you. That's when the sugar is not great for you because of the fat. The fat destroys that ability for glucose, for that fruit sugar to get to where it needs to go. It's like this. That's how it works. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches are a diabetes maker. That's a diabetes maker. Peanut butter and jelly. It's that combination. You're better off just with peanut butter without sugar involved. You're better off with just peanut butter. You know, and that's the thing people don't realize. It's the combinations of sugar and fat that cause that insulin resistance over time, and it stresses out the pancreas, stresses out even the adrenals. Everybody's on a high-fat diet. They're all on a high-fat diet out there. That's what people do. It's all about fat, fat, fat. They just do it every single day. They don't know it. And then if they try to stay off the carbohydrates, and they try to stay away from the fruit and the sugar, and they try to stay clear from it all, they end up just staying pretty much on a fat diet. So it's going to be like animal protein fat diet, or it's going to be plant-based fat diet. So that's a whole nother thing too, because a lot of people, they'll be on a plant-based diet, and it's basically lots of nuts and nut cakes and nut butters and lots of different fats hidden in all of it, because they can't figure out how to eat in a certain way, plant-based or vegan, to keep the fats out or keep them low. They can't figure it out. It freaks them out. They just don't know how to do it. So anybody who goes like into the vegan diet, they're eating all the fake meats filled with fat. They're eating, or they're just eating loads of tofu, which is really high in fat. Or they'll just be getting fats in them. They're eating nuts every day, just nuts and nuts and nuts. And then once in a while they'll eat a piece of fruit, but they'll eat it with a bunch of nuts. And they'll think it's balanced, but it's not balanced, because what they're doing is eating a bunch of fat with their fruit. And that's how it works. So I'm going to take this over here for a little bit. You guys, we're talking about life-changing foods. Get it. Get a pre-order right there. Take a look at it. Life-changing foods. There it is right there, okay? So make sure you take a peek. Now, I have some honey right here in some lemon balm tea. So I'm going to take a sip. Now, if there was coconut oil in there with the honey, then you got the fat and the sugar. You see how it works? Then you stress out your pancreas. A little bit of that, a little bit of this, not the end of the world. There's somebody that's not struggling with any kind of chronic illness. But people live by fat and sugar combinations. That's how they live, you know? And we're going to be making a fat-free, no overt fat grape slushy. All right, so I'm just having a little bit of lemon balm tea. It's so good. Talking so much here. All right, so here we are. Insulin resistance, it's a big thing. Blood sugar instability, that's a big thing right now, and it's only getting worse because we haven't learned in this day and age, in this world, how to break free from it. So everybody becomes susceptible to insulin resistance, whether they like it or not. They do. So pre-diabetes, then pre-diabetes occurs for people. Constant insulin resistance, constant blood sugar instability, low blood sugar, high blood sugar, high A1C, low blood sugar. This is what people have to suffer or struggle through. And if you get chronically ill and you're getting some kind of nervous system disease or nervous system condition, your vagus nerves are all messed up, your vagus nerves are challenged, they're inflamed, or your brain is fried from just high adrenaline, or it's fried from like, you know, amphetamines, and I'm talking about like prescription amphetamines like Adderall and Vyvanse, and your brain is just cooked and your neurons are just cooked and you're struggling in so many ways. You've been on a really high adrenaline lifestyle, maybe fight or flight, maybe you can't focus, you got some ADHD, and boom, maybe you're doing like ADHD drugs, and you're doing that, and you're just running on adrenaline. Maybe you're a caffeine-aholic. Maybe you're somebody, and I'm not shaming nobody. I ain't judging nobody. It's a freaking harsh world. And there's a reason why people do what they do, and they're on caffeine and everything. And there's a reason why they're on ADHD drugs and so forth. They're struggling. They can't find their way. They don't know how to heal. And it's a cruel freaking world. I mean, bottom line. And so what people, struggle with is they struggle with, burnout in their brain, lack of glucose, lack of glycogen, lack of electrolytes, not the proper electrolytes. They're never really getting those to their neurons. Electrical impulses are firing all screwed up. Their brains get hot from emotional instability because they're up against so much and they're struggling so much. And then the thing is everybody runs to when they eat fat and sugar combinations, fat and sugar combos. That means that the mix of it all the time, a carbohydrate, pizza, Carbohydrate, lots of fat on the pizza. Melted cheese, oil, all that mixed, right? A cheeseburger, cheese on your meat patty, all that fat right there. Combination of sugar mixed in with it. And then the bun on there, right? That's your carbohydrate. More sugar there too. And, you know, or ketchup on a burger where it's all the sugar from the ketchup. And then it's concentrated in the ketchup, right? That sweet ketchup on top of your fatty meat patty. It's always a combination of fat and sugar, fat and sugar. That's what it is out there. And everybody lives by it. And what does it do? It amps up the adrenals even more. It fires them up even more. It stresses the nervous system out even more. And that's what people struggle with on a daily basis. You may not even know you are. You're just like, what's he even talking about? Doesn't even make sense, you know? That's not what I'm going through. It makes no sense. What does he even mean? That's not true. It makes a lot of sense. Everybody, they walk around, they're eating high-fat diets. You can pick your diet. Vegetarian, still eat a high-fat diet. Plant-based, still eat a high-fat diet. Vegan, still a high-fat diet. Keto, paleo, carnivore, still a high-fat diet. Everybody lives on their high-fat diets. Now, it's not something where you have to like clean it up in one day, but there's ways to start moving forward and breaking that sugar and that fat combination, because in the end, you're going to go to some practitioner, you're going to go to some doctor, and that doctor's going to say, oh, you got to avoid sugar. Well, wait a minute, I got to avoid sugar. Oh yeah, no, your blood sugar is unstable. It looks unstable, your blood sugar. You have to avoid sugar at all costs. Well, what should I do, doctor? What should I do, practitioner? What should I do, health coach? What's the best angle? You got to go keto. You got to do a keto thing. Okay, so I should have chicken every day? All right, well, chicken and rice? Nope, can't have your sugar and carbohydrate. Okay, so I should have chicken and lettuce? Yep, that's what you need to do. You need to be on just salads and chicken salads, you know? And that's what they'll be told. That's just one example of 100 of them, 100 of them. And then they'll bump into walls, they're not getting glucose to the brain, and then they binge. It's like cheat days, pizza. They're trying to get sugar wherever they can. Cookies, cakes, and donuts. Sugar wherever they can. Even what seemingly is healthy cookie, cakes, and donuts. They try to get sugar where they can. And they're looking for it wherever they can find it. Cheese. And then they end up becoming cheeseaholics because they want sugar. It's sugar, sugar, sugar. It's cheese. It's sugar and fat. Cheese is a prime example of sugar and fat combination put together. It's a prime example. It's there. And so that carbohydrate is in there along with that fat. And this is what people suffer with on a daily basis. And their blood sugar goes all over the place. Jess Selene says, loving these lives. Honored, man, honored. So, and we got lots to talk about. Let's get on to it. All right. Good point. So I got the anatomy up here because we're covering a few things. We're talking about kind of like brain burnout syndrome, okay? Our brains being fried. A lot of people feel like their brains are short-circuiting. They feel like they're not working. Their brain fogged out. Maybe they got the ADHD. Maybe they can't focus on any level. Maybe they can't think fast enough. Maybe they're forgetting stuff left and right. They're just dealing with a little bit of brain burnout in some way, shape, fashion, or form. They go to practitioners, they go to their doctors see that their blood sugar is kind of all over the place. It's the first thing they kind of look. They're like, no, I think you're exhibiting symptoms of hypoglycemia. I think you're dealing with symptoms of, you're hypoglycemic. You got some blood sugar stuff happening, so what do I do? Stay away from grapes. That's what you'll hear out there. Well, I like fruit. Can I eat a fruit? Yes, you can have a green apple. And they'll hear this from their doctors and their practitioners. They'll hear this all the time. Like, you can have a green apple. You can do that. That's acceptable. Maybe you could have a grapefruit, but citrus is bad for you too. You might have a citrus allergy. You might hear that too out there. But you won't really hear, you should be eating some grapes. You won't hear, you should be eating some papaya, some red apples, some grapes, some oranges. Oranges and orange juice is like the devil to the health movement. It's like the devil. Orange juice, fresh squeezed orange juice included. It's like the devil to the health food movement. And so people are left still with a little bit of fruit fear, even though it's been broken. We busted it up pretty bad. We busted up fruit fear so bad that even the carnivore movement's shifting, and there are a few carnivore heads that are like, you know what? I'm eating some fruit now because I can't survive otherwise. They can't. They just can't be on beef day in, day out. Try eating beef 3 times a never mind a week. Try eating beef 3 times a day. Try eating, that's another thing too. When the keto thing got so out of control and so just took over the keto thing, people are doing like bacon 4 or 5 times a day. I mean, suicide. It's actually suicide. It just is. You kill your liver, you kill your pancreas, you kill your spleen, you kill your gut, you kill your brain. I mean, so many people have done that. Have you guys run into that over the years? That's a big thing all in its own. And then the keto thing where, no, do meat 3 times a day, 4 times a day, exercise, get in the gym, and just eat meat only. It's suicide once more. Gallbladder, all that stuff. Don't get me wrong, this isn't about anti-animal protein. This isn't about any of that. I'm talking about how it's all screwed up out there. You can be plant-based because there was the whole keto plant-based thing going for a while. That was happening for a while. But people, they just can't even handle that. They don't know what to do, how to eat, and so forth. And they're all afraid of sugar still to some degree, even though fruit has made a big comeback because of medical medium information. So we're talking about grapes because a lot of people fear grapes in the greatest sense. They're afraid of grapes. And a lot of people snack on grapes. They'll purchase some grapes, but they'll eat them with nuts. They'll eat them with sunflower seeds. They'll have them with something else, like they'll eat them with almonds. And because that's what they do. They'll have a couple of grapes, they'll pop them in, they'll eat a couple of nuts, maybe some seeds, and that's how they'll have their grapes. And it's like, no, you don't eat them that way. You don't only eat grapes. That's not a great idea. You don't just go on a grape diet. That's a terrible idea. You don't want to do that, but you can still eat your grapes. You can have them in your diet, have them work for you, have them help repair your brain, get glucose to the brain, because that's critical. So the high-fat diets prevent people from building up the proper glycogen inside the brain. So that's how it works, okay? A lot of people, their brains start to shrink and they start to atrophy. So their high-fat diets, whether it's animal or vegan or plant-based, the high-fat diets make it so when they start getting older, when they start getting into their 40s, they start getting brain shrinkage, so brain atrophy. They start getting into their 50s, they get major brain atrophy. Their 60s, major brain atrophy. Their 70s, major brain atrophy. And that happens because of the high-fat diets, a lifetime of high-fat diets. Combination of high-fat and the sugar not getting to the brain properly. Insulin resistance prevents the glucose from getting to the brain. Deficiencies occur because the nutrients, the minerals aren't getting to the right cells and organs. All of this in combination becomes a big problem. So anyway, you guys, we're covering some different topics, and we're also talking about life-changing foods. We're in the grape section of life-changing foods. Take a look right there. There's the expanded edition. Now, if you think you have this book, you don't have it, just giving you a 411, you do not have that book. That book is a whole different book. It's packed. It's a large book, and it's loaded. So keep that in mind, okay? So, coming back on here, somehow these brains found their way over here. So if you're somebody, so just keep in mind that the Life-Changing Foods, it's a new edition. It is an expanded edition. It's packed with information. You will not be disappointed. It's critical for health, keeping yourself healthy. You'll learn about the Holy Five and the Unforgivable Six. And there's a whole bunch of new foods, over 30 new foods. Leafy greens, herbs, wild foods, spiritual information, emotional information, and physical information, symptoms and conditions, all in life-changing foods, expanded edition. So make sure you guys get a copy and pre-order it, because you're not going to be disappointed. Just letting you know. Check it out. Check it out. So excited for the expanded edition of LCF, Marissa Spiritual. I'm honored. So glad. So glad. All right. What happens with that book is when you open it up. So you have this book, right? This is my manuscript. That's why it looks all weird. It's not the book you're getting. You're getting like a real, like heavy-duty book. When you open this up, you'd be like, what do I need for my health? What do I need for my health? You just open it up. Guess what I opened it up to just now? Would you believe it? There's no marker or anything. I opened up this book right now, my manuscript. Guess what it's on? It's on lemon balm. Guess what I'm drinking right here? Lemon balm tea. I mean, right here, that just happened right now, okay? 600 pages in here, and I opened it up on lemon balm as I'm drinking lemon balm tea. There's no bookmarker, there's nothing to even mark it or nothing. And that just happened just now. And I'm going to have another sip of my lemon balm tea. I mean, that just happened just now. Did you guys see that? That's what I opened it up to, lemon balm. Okay, and that's what you need to do. When you pre-order this book, like experience this spiritual connection. Like, I just did that just now, okay? I'm freaking out. Like, you believe that? I'm drinking the lemon balm tea, and that's what came up, is lemon balm right there. All right, so make sure when you get this book, it arrives, you open it up, and you see what you need. You open it up, and you see what hits. This book is extremely spiritual, has a supernatural connection. The words in it alone come from SOC. This is an amazing book. I can't wait for you guys. And you're going to be inspired. It's going to keep you inspired. Every time you open this book, you're going to be inspired. You're going to learn about some of the evils in the world. Okay? Sorry about that. Sorry about that. And in this expanded edition, you are going to learn about some of the evils in this world, okay? But you're going to learn about all the holy five. You're going to learn about all of the different wild foods, leafy greens, the power of them. You're going to learn about the vegetables and the fruits. You're going to learn about the herbs. So good, so good. I'm actually so psyched about that. I opened up to lemon balm, and I am drinking a lemon balm tea. All right, so let's go going. Your adrenals, your pancreas will love you for learning this information, okay? Your pancreas will love you for learning this. All right, so let's get into it a little bit. All right, so our brains atrophy as each year goes on, as critical needed glucose doesn't get to the brain properly. It gets to the brain, but you can't store a strong glycogen storage bin if you're not bringing in certain foods that are critical for creating that storage bin. And you're not learning how to kind of bypass the fats at different times of the day. Not have any fats in the morning. Do the medical medium morning cleanse and keep the fats away until after lunch. Give your body a chance to get glucose to the brain so you can get that glucose storage, glycogen storage rebuilt. Because what you're going to see out there in the next 10 years are going to be really high Alzheimer's, really high dementia, really high memory loss. You're going to see that coming within the next 10 years. It's going to be a massive epidemic with that. Okay, you got all these baby boomers all gonna lose their minds. You got all these people in their 50s now that are gonna lose their minds later. You get all these people in their 40s, they're all gonna be getting early dementia, early Alzheimer's, and they're not gonna be taught at all how to avoid that, how to keep their brains from atrophying, how to get the metals out of their brain, how to protect themselves. So that's very important. All right, let's get making some grapes. Now I'm not gonna make any wine. I'm not gonna step on the grapes with my bare feet. I'm not gonna put the grapes in a bucket and stomp on them to try to make wine. We're not gonna do that, okay? We're not into making wine. I don't want you drinking wine, but if you do drink wine, so be it. If you are a fan of wine, I do not judge you. No, I don't. I got frozen grapes here. So what you want to do is you want to freeze your grapes. These are all frozen. Look at these jewels. Look at that right there. Frozen grapes. Nice ones too. I got a lot of them because I plan on making a bunch of grape slushies. It's going to be fun. So there we are. Now, there's stems in some of these. Some of these don't have stems. You can do about 2 cups of grapes. You want to make a bigger one, you can make a bigger one. You want to make a smaller one, make a smaller one. You can do, either or. But here we are. You guys on IG can take a look right there. There are the frozen grapes. So I'm going to pop some in here. Let me just actually get a little bit of a measuring tool right here. All right. So I'm sticking some grapes in here. I'm probably going to make one a little bit bigger than just small. And I'm just taking a couple of stems out of some of them. I was taking stems out of them before freezing them, okay? So I was doing that. But then, I was like, all right, let me just do it this way. That's about 1 cup, give or take. It's a little higher than 1 cup, but you got to think there you go. That's 1. I'm popping that in here, so let me do that. Here we are. There's 1. I'm going to do 1 more. Maybe you guys don't even like grapes. Maybe you hate grapes, and I don't even know it. Like, maybe the world hates grapes. How about that? Maybe I'm just wrong trying to get people to eat a few grapes. Everybody doesn't like grapes. I mean, grapes, I like them. All right. Here we go. Got another one there? All right. Okay, I just put that in there, you guys, okay? Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some coconut water in here, but I'm not gonna put a lot. I'm just gonna start with a little bit, and I'm just gonna start getting this moving. You want a slushie. A grape slushie is what you want. I'm gonna pop this on here. All right, let's get over here. Okay, click this on. Let's put a little bit more. I just didn't want to jump the gun, put a lot in there. All right. I might put just a touch more in here, okay? I don't want this too sloshy. I want a grape slushy. All right. Little touch more. Just a little bit more. And the thing is I got frozen grapes here, so I can add some in. All right, I'm just moving that through, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of maple syrup to it. I just wanted to get it cranking a little bit. I'm gonna put 1 to 2 tablespoons of maple syrup in there. I'm going to put a little bit of lemon juice too. But with this, I'm going to strain it so just bear with me for a second. Nice. Let's do this. There we go. Gives it a little bit of a different flavor, a great flavor to it. Have that little bit of that lemon there, okay? And I might put a little bit more grapes in there too, a few more grapes as well. There we go. Might put a couple in there. Couple more. Craziest blender, man. I'm going to throw a couple more in here, and then we're going to be good. And the thing is, like, making this with family is really fun. There we go. Let's see what we got here. Okay? We should have a grape slushy, but we have, you know, a lot of grapes here, so we could be okay if we need to use more of them. And that's fine. There we go. Yep, we got a grape slushy right here. Can you guys see that? And I'm going to get a spoon. Medical Medium Cooking Show. All right, there we go. Now, you can make it icier and more better than that. and better than that, just add a few more grapes to that, which I think I'm going to do. And that's it right there. I'm just going to have a little taste of it now. Maple syrup in there and that little bit of lemon. That is so good. You don't want coconut oil in this. You don't want anything like that. I'm going to make another right here. I'm going to throw in a few more of these. I'm going to make it a little bit icier. It's just the blender is not seemingly... There we go. Let's give that a whirl. There we go. There. Move these over. Up this on. Let's give it another little whirl. Give that a shot. All right. Okay. Let's try to do it without making a big mess here. All right, we're going to go and sit down. We're going to head over to the round table. That's what we're going to do. Okay, guys, I'm going to pop this over here. And I'm going to bring this. Fantastic. All right, here we are, guys. There we are. So I got my slushie right here. I'm gonna get a little bit of a napkin. All right, we're in the grape. Let's talk a little bit about the grape, okay? Hold on, guys. It's like, you know what I mean, ice cream and ice cream cone? But what's happening is we're melting a little bit on the edges. So I'm trying to catch that melting. Brain freeze. I got a brain freeze right now. That's a good brain freeze. Whoa. Hold on. That's a brain freeze. Just hold on here. All right. I'm trying to do that kind of quick. That's a grape slushy right there. Second round, it went better. Grapes should not be misunderstood as being too high in carbs, but it is misunderstood. Grapes have taken quite a wrath, and they get blamed for a lot of crap. It's just, it doesn't even make any sense. But people who actually, you know, won't eat a fresh grape because they're worried about carbs and sugar will drink a lot of wine. And that's interesting all on its own. Is that not interesting? I think it is. Okay? Grapes are very powerful in many ways. They are an energetic food, an energy-creating food, because your cells need the glucose and minerals that grapes have to offer. Is what they need. I'm just really enjoying this grape slushy, so I'm just going to have a little bit more. Wow, it's so good. That's insanely good, like so good. You can have that for breakfast. Like you can have that for your breakfast. How crazy is that? All right, so let's talk about this. Grapes have the ability to expel radiation. Anthocyanins in grapes really help to expel radiation. People have radiation all through them. They get it through medical testing. They get it through, you know, being with family members that are, you know, getting the medical tests. They're exposed to the airports and traveling, exposed on the airplanes. The airplanes are radiation bombs, so it's good to have things that actually are weapons against it so you could live your life and travel and so forth. Let's talk about symptoms, conditions about grapes, okay? So if you have any kind of symptoms, conditions, this is a good place where grapes really work. Blood toxicity, blurry eyes, body odor, brain fog, brain lesions, brittle nails, chest pain, confusion, congestion, cough, dizziness, backache, Bell's palsy, food sensitivities. Food sensitivities, like grapes are really good for food sensitivities. I mean, how great is that, okay? Palm sweats, when people just, their palms are sweaty all the time and they're always sweaty. It's great for that too. Premenstrual syndrome, PMS symptoms, ringing or buzzing in the ears, humming vibrations, shortness of breath. These are just some of the symptoms. Conditions, ADHD, interesting. And we're just talking about all of that too. That's really interesting. All autoimmune diseases. Grapes are great for all autoimmune diseases and disorders. Anemia, attention deficit, hyperactivity disorder, autism, neuropathy, bacterial gastritis. Very interesting. Bacterial infections, breast cancer, bronchitis, chronic fatigue syndrome, colon cancer, common colds, kidney issues, depression, diabetes. That's a big one right there, diabetes. No one would think grapes are good for diabetes. Why would anybody think a grape is good for diabetes? But they have it wrong. Grapes are wonderful for diabetes. They are wonderful for diabetes for sure, because like I was saying before, Very good. It's like homeschool, Natasha Gray said. So many different things. H. pylori, hemorrhoids, hepatitis B, C, simplex herpes, 1, 2, kidney stones, eye problems, macular degeneration, mystery infertility, neurological disorders, pancreatic cancer, sepsis, sleep disorders. A lot of people don't realize, the people who die of sepsis don't realize that they're on the verge of sepsis. And there's a whole bunch of people that never knew they were on the verge of sepsis because they miraculously got out of sepsis where their body just overcame it. So there's all these people that die of sepsis every single day, all around the planet, every single year. It's a lot. The hospitals are filled with people who die of sepsis. That's a big one. And like I said, there is a massive amount of people out there that are close to dying of sepsis but don't know it. They're living their life. They're just doing their thing. They're traveling, they're going places, they're working, they're doing things, and they're on the verge of sepsis, but their body then turns it around because the body's like, no, no, no. And maybe there's something they do for like the night. Maybe they skip a dinner that night or something, and they skip some kind of like fatty, bad meal or something, and they get out of sepsis and don't even realize it. And they're waffling back and forth from sepsis to no sepsis to sepsis to no sepsis. And that happens all the time. Hearing loss, I talked about that. That's a big one too. What else? Mold exposure, brain tumors. We talked about that. Nodules. People are loaded with nodules. They got so many different cysts and nodules all through their body. They got them everywhere. They have them in their groin. They got them in their legs, in their thighs. They have them in their neck. It's crazy how much, so many people have nodules. And sleep disorders and vertigo. So here's the book right here. I want to give you a little bit of a kind of a roundabout with the book real quick, okay? So this is the expanded edition. You can use the index. You can look up your symptoms, conditions in the index, which is really great. That's an option right there. And you can look up your symptoms, conditions, and find them through the different fruits and vegetables, leafy greens, herbs, and wild foods. It's one way to use it. Another way to use it is just open it up like I did. I opened it up and lemon balm came up, and my lemon balm tea is sitting over there. And that's something you can do all on its own. Good to see you guys. Glad you came on board right here. We're talking about life-changing foods. We covered blood sugar, diabetes. We talked about that. This isn't the book. This is my manuscript, like I always say. Okay, so there's my manuscript. This is the manuscript that my publisher gave back to me after the book was done, after I handed it in and everything was all good. So we are here. We're sitting at the round table. We're just chilling out. I want to read some comments too, but let's go into emotional support. Grapes help when you're feeling emotionally broken. I mean, how many people do you know that felt emotionally broken? I know a lot of people throughout my life that have had experiences with partners and friends and, and so forth, and girlfriends and boyfriends that have had the worst falling outs and the worst relationships. And over the years, I've seen a lot of people brokenhearted. I feel like they were totally broken in so many ways. And what I love about grapes is you think, well, grape is not going to fix my problem in one shot. Like, why would a grape fix me after just going through the hellish relationship of all, or, something that broke my heart and made me feel broken? Why would grapes help? But what they don't understand is the amount of glucose you're burning up out of your brain when you go through some serious relationship issues, when you go through some serious problems, if you feel like you're emotionally distraught, emotionally broken, if you've had betrayal if you were betrayed, if your trust has been broken and it's really hard on you because your trust has just been annihilated, meaning you trusted someone and it was just all blown out of the water and you just lost that ability to trust anybody anymore, like you don't even want to trust anybody anymore after that, grapes are important. And the reason why is because when those things happen in life, darn it, just spilled a whole bunch. When those things happen in life, what happens is our glucose just basically just evaporates in the brain. Our glycogen just burns up. Our glucose just burns up. Our brains get overheated. When you're under a kind of emotional strife, your brain is running hot. Because you're trying to think, how the hell did this happen? What made this occur? Like, how did I get into this situation emotionally? How did this person deceive me? How did this person like totally trick me? How was the wool pulled over my eyes? Like, was I being stupid? No, I wasn't being stupid. I was being trusting. But how did this happen? I thought I had, enough street smarts. I thought I knew better. I thought this relationship was working out. I thought I knew the person. Like, I'm trying to think, what happened back then and what happened whenever. And when you're trying to think, because you're going through some kind of emotional hardship, some kind of emotional struggle, your emotions are just, your adrenaline's running and your electrical impulses are firing really hot. And your brain activity is just like overboard. And all of a sudden, all your glucose is just burning up. So it's not like a grape is going to fix your falling out that you have with a person or the struggle you're going through emotionally. The grape's job is to fortify your brain so you don't like lose it. Where down the road, you're really hurting because your brain is now really beat up from it. Your electrical impulses are really weak. Your neurotransmitters are really broken down. Your cranial nerves coming out, your vagus nerves coming out are just weak because they were so heated up. They were so fried by, why did this person do this? I thought this was working out. This should have been something different. Or did I make a mistake? How did I trust this? How did I trust that? Why did this happen? And you kind of like forensically go through it, and then your brain is just in overdrive, and it's spinning, and your head is spinning, and your brain is heating up, and your vagus nerves are heating up, and your phrenic nerves, and all your cranial nerves, plus your phrenic nerves, everything is just heating up, and then you're in like future burnout, you're in future electrolyte deficiency, you're in future B12 deficiency, you're in future neurological weakness because there wasn't enough glucose to fortify and truly like stabilize. And that is how it works. So it's not like a stupid grape is going to save your life in the sense where it's going to fix all your problems. A grape is not going to fix the biggest problem you've had in your life, but what it can do is protect your brain. And that can save your life. And then what people think is a stupid grape is actually a miraculous grape, is actually a healing grape, is actually a holy grape, is actually God's gift grape, a gift from God, a grape put here on this earth from God, by God. And it becomes part of your God-given right to heal because people don't like grapes. They think they're dumb. They think that's a bad idea. It's all filled with sugar. How can a grape help you? But when we go through all this stuff in life, as it says in the emotional section right here, that grape, that God-given right to heal grape, that God-given grape, that holy supernatural food was put here on this planet, is here so that we can protect our physical brain. And if we can protect our physical brain, then we can help survive whatever that is emotionally that we're going through so that we can learn to trust again, so that we can fight more battles and push through and persevere, and we can win battles, and we can heal and move forward. It's a little grape talk right there. I think my grape slushy is helping me right now. I think it's helping me a lot. My brain is really working. It is working very good right now. My brain is working very great right now. My grape slushy is helping me. Grapes help when you're feeling emotionally broken, lifting your spirits. Is my spirit kind of lifted now? I feel like it is. Lifting your spirits, encouraging a jovial, I don't know if you'd call me jovial ever, lighthearted outlook on life. They can prevent you from becoming wounded if you're ever falsely accused of a misdeed, and promote healing when you feel excluded in social situations. Wow. If you ever feel disappointed that you weren't chosen for a certain project or job, go out and buy some grapes. They can help you forge ahead and create new opportunities. And if you're someone who's reluctant about change, passing up opportunities and later regretting it, embrace grapes in your diet and feel the transformation as you're able to be braver and take advantage of the special moments life presents. Finally, offer grapes to friends and family members who seem aloof, adrift. That's interesting. Do you have any friends that seem aloof and adrift? Or family members that seem aloof and adrift? Or complacent? Complacent. Over time, this fruit can help alter their direction and improve their behavior. So, it's like, wash some grapes. Have some grapes ready for family members. Let's talk about the spiritual lesson real quick here. I'm going to read some comments in a little bit. When you feel isolated, living your life with little interaction, or coping with shyness and yet yearning for a sense of belonging with a group that accepts you, make grapes a part of your life. A lot of people who have chronic illness, they feel like they're on Mattress Island. They can't go and they can't, they can't play the reindeer games. They can't go out. So, and that's important to know. They go through a lot of trouble because they've been chronically ill, okay? Remember, grapes are bunched together. As each cluster grows on the vine, the little globes stay close to each other, each connecting on both a physical and metaphysical level. Each grape adjusts to fit perfectly in place with those around it. Focus on this wonder when you select and eat grapes. It will create a sacred intention. Prepare you consciously and subconsciously to find your people and point you towards your true home. This information is so powerful. When you get the book, check it out right there, expanded edition, you guys. I mean, come on. How incredible is this? The information that's in this book. There's tips here. Tips about raisins. Tips about fresh grape jelly, medical medium style. And there's tips about the residue on grapes too. Like, you name it, it's in here. Plus symptoms, conditions, plus information that I didn't even cover in the grape section originally. The content there. There's so much information here, you guys. This is Life Changing Foods Expanded Edition. I made a grape slushy. I'm going to make another. I'm going to be hooked on these all day today until dinner. So I just got to say, you guys, and I'm proud of you guys big time, all right? Check out the announcements. Make sure on the Medical Medium newsletter. Seriously, be on the Medical Medium newsletter. If you're not getting the newsletter for some reason, try to get on it again, because something could be just like glitched. So make sure you get on the Medical Medium newsletter. November 4th and 5th, Cafe Gratitude, the dinner's there. Make sure you're on the wait list. Sign up to the wait list. And we're going to be sending information pretty soon on the Barnes & Noble book signing day, and I'm going to make sure that building is filled with light. I'm going to cover that building with light. That's going to be insane. It's the 3-story Glendale Barnes & Noble in LA. That's exciting. That's on November 6th. I hope you give them a shout. If you can, give Barnes & Noble at Glendale, call the Glendale one and give them a shout. And just make sure you know that you know what's going on, you know what to do, and the whole bit. And make sure you're on the newsletter as well, so you can get information from us. And that's the newsletter right there. You see that? Really powerful, Lyra. 144, really powerful. Love moon grapes. Dream Healing loves moon grapes. You guys love grapes, so, right? Black grapes, purple grapes, all right? Green grapes. There's a lot of different varieties, by the way. Muscadine grapes are pretty cool. Those are pretty cool. Growing your own muscadine grapes. If you live in a cold climate, you can still try to grow your own grapes. Grapes can handle the cold climate. Keep that in mind. There's some grapevines that can handle it, and there's some rootstocks that can handle it too. So, you know, you should grow your own grapes wherever you are. Try to find a little spot, maybe in a planter. You know, they'll lose their leaves, and then the new leaves will come out in the spring. So make sure you do that. Moving the book over a little bit because I want to have a little bit of the grape slushy before it starts to melt. Man, brain freeze every time I take I got some shot glasses over there. I forgot I was going to make shot glass versions of the slushy, but I don't think I want to send a whole shot down at once. Reberg says, I love AW's cooking show. Wow, it looks amazing. I hope you guys, hope you're tuned in to all the different cooking shows I just did. Make sure you watch the other ones. I did a watermelon one. I did peaches. Make sure you check them out. Rumble, YouTube, okay? Miss Kamuchu says, isn't that a lot of sugar for a diabetic? Help! Help! God help me. God help me. Watch this from the beginning, please. You know, I get like by the end of the day, I'm kind of like beaten down a little bit, right? By the end of the day. And then in the morning when I wake up, really early in the morning, I'm like, no, I'll do it all over again. I'll do it all over again. Like I wake up in the morning, I'm like, all right, SOC, let's start writing the next book. You know, I'll do it all over again, okay? And then, you know, by the end of the day, I feel kind of like beaten down, you know, a little bit beaten down by the end of the day. Of just all the stupid shit that happens in life. You just get beaten down, you know, at the end of the day. And then I wake up in the morning, like 4 or 5 o'clock, and I'm like, I'm gonna take it on again. I'm gonna take life on again, man. I'm just gonna do it. I just gotta heal as many people as I can. I gotta just, you know, stay strong and, you know, fight some battles and look out for people. Try to get people better. Try to get them to heal. Try to get their bodies to heal. Okay? You guys got great comments. Marja says I was super shy and then brought me back. Wow. Why am I getting this grape slushy on everything? Okay. All right. Chrissy. All right. Chrissy, unfortunately was on Mattress Island for many years, but I've had every light blast you've given out and can go out a few days a week now. Whoa. Chrissy, just know that like my heart pours out to you just for what you've been through all this time and for years being on Mattress Island. People just don't understand that. They just don't get it. Like I talk about it. I talk about Mattress Island. I talk about that a lot to different people I run into in the health movement. Just like, you run into people and they're doing stuff out there and all that. Maybe another author or something like that. And they'll be like, what the hell's Mattress Island? I'm like, oh, dude, people are suffering out there. Oh, I know people are sick. No, you don't. No, you don't. All right, you guys. Love you much. Be good. God bless you. Everyone is different, but not in the way we normally think everyone is different. Our souls are different. Everyone's soul is different. Your soul is different than another person. Another person's soul is different than yours. No two souls are the same. And even though our physical bodies are different and they look different, as humans, they're meant to function in the same way. Every person on this planet needs to eat food in some way, and that's the same. And when it comes down to our heart has to beat. And that's where we're not different. We're just not different. Until something goes wrong and we can't walk anymore, until something goes wrong and we can't talk, or our blood gets clogged, or our heart doesn't beat right. And that's where the differences come in. And that's where we become different. Different internal problems with our physical bodies can create endless differences